Stoicism. Lately, when you open the YouTube search bar and search for Stoicism, you get content such as this. Basically, AI-generated muscular men trying to give you life advice and motivation. It is so simplified that it now boils down to a few quotes from its most famous philosophers, and that's all. But what is the truth about Stoicism? Is it really a philosophy made 2,000 years ago, used by muscular Greeks and Romans to give them motivation for the upcoming battles? Or it is a philosophy that is much deeper and much richer in history and in value? I will leave this for you to decide. You might think that the history of Stoicism starts with this man, Marcus Aurelius. It's true that he is undoubtedly the most famous Stoic by writing Meditations, but Marcus Aurelius is somewhere in the middle of our timeline. If we run the timeline back a couple of centuries, we see that Stoicism was founded by Zeno of Citium. But Zeno didn't come up with a whole philosophy on his own. After all, he was just a merchant for most of his life. He was heavily influenced by the teachings of Socrates. While Socrates wasn't directly involved in the founding of academies of philosophy, some of his followers and admirers were. Plato's Academy, the Peripatetics, the Epicureans, the Cynics, the Skeptics, and the Stoics all were influenced by Socrates. Each of these schools of thought had its own unique perspective on life, but what united them was a shared belief in a simple, powerful idea. Philosophy exists to guide you toward living a better life. The ancient Greeks were obsessed by the question of what it means to live the best possible life. This obsession shaped their society, and in many ways, it still influences us today. While we may not know the exact year when Stoicism was established, we do know the exact location: the Painted Porch. This is where the name Stoicism truly comes to life. In Greek, porch is stoa, and so Stoics simply means the people who gather by the porch. Over time, Stoicism spread across the Greek world. Centuries after those early gatherings at the Painted Porch in Athens, Roman thinkers like Seneca and Epictetus carried its teachings forward, weaving them into the life and philosophy of Marcus Aurelius. He was one of the greatest emperors of Rome, often remembered as the last of the 5 good emperors. Despite the immense pressure of ruling one of the largest empires of his time, he lived a life of integrity and maintained inner peace. Much of his life was spent on the battlefield. It was there, amidst the chaos of war, that his Stoic ideals moved from thought to paper. His work, Meditations, began as a personal journal, a collection of reflections written during moments of hardship and suffering on the battlefield. It's a must-read, a relatable journey through the challenges of existence that every person faces. Marcus Aurelius grappled with the same timeless questions we all ask. How should we confront mortality and the passage of time? How can we live with integrity amidst chaos and corruption? And what is the true meaning of suffering and hardship? His insights into Stoicism provide a profound guide for anyone seeking clarity and wisdom in a chaotic world. If you are interested in getting the book, find the links below. I've made a free PDF file of the best books about Stoicism if you want to dive deeper into this topic. Since the time of Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism has grown far beyond Athens, Rome, and the Mediterranean world. In more recent history, it was practiced and encouraged by influential figures like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Nelson Mandela. Countless books have been written on the topic, breathing new life into Stoicism over the centuries. Today, it has found a thriving community on the internet, and for good reason. The core principles of Stoicism guide us toward calmness, resilience, and inner peace, even in a world overwhelmed by chaos, anxiety, and relentless materialism. The ancient Stoics believed that we live in a world indifferent to our opinions. Things will happen regardless of how we feel about them. But this doesn't mean we should give up on life. Quite the opposite. Stoicism offers us a solution. It teaches that our lives are divided into 2 domains, the external and the internal. The external consists of everything outside our minds, things we cannot control. The internal, however, includes our thoughts, beliefs, and reactions to the external. These are entirely within our control. As Epictetus wisely said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Ever felt stressed about an upcoming exam or worried about what someone might think of you? We've all been there. Stoicism offers a different perspective. Instead of stressing over an event like an exam, focus on what you can control. If things don't go as planned, or you face unexpected challenges, at least you can find inner peace, knowing you gave it your all. This idea doesn't just apply to exams, it's directly connected to how we approach our goals in life. There's nothing wrong with working toward and achieving wealth, social status, or power. To the Stoic, these are things to be appreciated if they come, but never to be relied upon for a happy life. Relying on external factors for your happiness leaves you chained to them, making your inner peace fragile. No amount of wealth, fame, or power can bring true joy if the person who possesses them hasn't first learned how to live without them. You might now be asking, what should we pursue? What virtues and values should we prioritize? Zeno taught these virtues over 23 centuries ago at the Painted Porch in Athens, though they were borrowed from Plato's The Republic. In Plato's philosophy, these virtues were essential for a well-ordered soul and a truly happy life. They are wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom is about mastering your circle of control and understanding the difference between the internal and the external. As Viktor Frankl writes in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. From the beginning of time, achieving anything meaningful has always come with challenges. That's why courage is essential, to face life's difficulties and persevere through tough situations. Justice, on the other hand, is our duty to society and ourselves. It means acting as we are all born equal. Instead of harming one another, we must learn to coexist in peace. Temperance is the virtue of self-control. It is our ability to choose long-term well-being over short-term satisfaction. This is a very important virtue in a world where we are constantly stimulated by our surroundings. Movies, social media, and advertisers are doing everything they can to make us want to buy more, watch more, spend more time on their platforms, craving happiness in the external rather than the internal. By constantly looking at other people's lives and interests, we are left without time to enjoy our own lives the way we must. The truth is, achieving your goals and living a happy life is hard. When you strive to succeed in any goal you set, you will inevitably face struggles, fear, and self-doubt. These emotions are inevitable as time itself. Now, you might think, aren't these just outdated ideas? Keep in mind that our time on this planet is roughly 80 years, and these teachings are more than 2,300 years old. To put it in perspective, this is how it looks on a chart. This is how old the United States of America is, and this is the lifespan of the Roman Empire. Stoicism is a philosophy that has transcended empires, emperors, wars, plagues, and even time itself. If you've stayed with me this far, let me ask you, what do you think is the truth behind Stoicism? Is Stoicism a timeless guide for living a better life, worthy of deep exploration? After all, its core ideas have helped countless people for over 2,000 years. Or is it simply an outdated philosophy, repackaged by modern influencers for social media views? Maybe its sudden popularity is more about trends than true substance, a collection of catchy phrases rather than a meaningful guide to a better life. The truth about Stoicism lies in how you engage with it. If you explore it deeply, beyond the surface level, you might discover wisdom that could transform your perspective. Or you might decide it's just another short-lived trend. Feel free to leave a comment below. I will be happy to have a discussion on the topic and see each other's opinions. Thank you for sticking with me until the end of this video. If you enjoyed this exploration, hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you next time on the Wondergate channel.